When I think about who I was when I first started this channel, I was definitely in a very different place. And it's almost strange because I feel like I can't relate to that person anymore. In the sense that like I was just a child basically when I mean, I was a teenager when I started this channel. And the thing is that I was in a very dark place at that time. And actually, I think I was just barely like starting to enter that light at the end of the tunnel at that time because I had just left a period of my life where I had taken time only, like time away from everything. I mean, I was forced to take time away from everything to just focus on myself and healing myself and looking at the patterns and behaviors and the traumas I had. And that was a very, I mean, it was a difficult time, like I believe some people call that like the dark night of the soul. Like, it's probably true. And I don't like to put labels on things like that, but um that was the experience. I had come face to face with myself in the mirror, my shadow, and all like I was forced almost to be okay with not only myself, where I was and what happened in the past. And the thing is, it's strange because looking back, like looking at where I am now, like I don't feel any attachment to that identity, to that past. And there are a multitude of reasons why that is. But I think that just that mindset and that where I was then doesn't serve me. It hasn't served me back then either. But it's just it doesn't define me. Like who I was back then doesn't define me. And even though I started this channel because I felt like I wanted to speak the things that I couldn't speak before. I made that video because that was the only time in my life that I felt like I needed to say something and I didn't have anyone to say it to. And I felt like, worst comes to worst, maybe someone else can watch this video and they can be helped from it. And I think that was a very interesting way for me to start this channel because, like, I don't think I fully described what really happened back then. But essentially, like, another person showed me what was wrong with me. And not by them telling me, but rather by their own traumas reacting in a way that triggered my own traumas and just being something that kept triggering each other. And I realized like, it was kind of a inherently divine thing because that was something that was essential for my growth. And if things had happened the way that I would have wanted them to happen back then, I think I definitely would have became the person I am today. At least not as fast. Because like over the small time, like realistically, the amount of time that's passed between now and then is probably not too much, but internally it's felt like centuries, essentially. Because I have grown so much throughout that time, and I've been reborn in a sense, like a phoenix rising from the ash. Who I was back then has been alchemized, those patterns, those traumas. And I think back then, I didn't understand the spiritual path. I didn't understand what this life really was and what it was really about. And that's okay because I don't think I needed to. I think my reality back then was very grounded in personal identity as well as it needed to be because I think that when someone has deep rooted trauma, when someone has those type of patterns in their life, it can take a hold of their life. And I think that you have to really, it has to become present to you. It has to become aware. Like, you have to be aware of it to heal it. In the sense that, like, if you go on, like, you can't heal your traumas just by ignoring it and not looking at it. And that is something that I was doing, back in that day, because it was so difficult. It was so hard. And granted, like, I was just a kid back then. I was just a young kid, and so I never look at myself bad in those days because I didn't know better. You know, back then I didn't realize I deserved better, and now it's that's unfortunate. That's a shame, and the truth is, it wasn't my fault. Those were just the conditions that I was raised in, and that's okay. Because when I look at everything that happened to me back then, I look at it as a good thing in the sense that it provided me a way out. In the sense that it allowed me to grow and heal and provided a way for me to be able to help others, in the sense that I know where people come from. I know how bad it can get. I know what the darkness is like. Because, like, to be the light, you gotta know the darkness. Because the light shines its presence on the darkness and casts it away. So that was something I had to do in my own life. Cast the light of my attention onto the shadows within myself. And I just truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And with that, with all those experiences, I realized that it provided me the ability, the knowledge, the actual experiential understanding of where people come from, so that I can speak and I can provide help for other people. And I realized also that, like, I can meet people on different levels, in the sense that you can only talk to someone and meet someone and know someone and understand someone as much as they know, meet, and understand themselves. And that is the truth. And because I took the time to know myself on the personal level, and of course on the universal level, I can meet anyone, anywhere, on any frequency that they need to be, and that they resonate at. And so that doesn't mean I change my frequency to align with other people. I'm gonna still stay in my high vibe. But I realized that, if someone needs help, like, I can always match them and help them and understand them from their own level. And I think that ultimately that's what we got to do for ourselves to heal, is, meet ourselves where we are at and show love and compassion for ourselves. You know, be able to be there for ourselves. And it's not a solo journey. It's just sometimes that to heal, you got to be alone, so that other people aren't distracting you from your own process. You know, because that's the truth, that that is part of the process. The hermit, like, hermit mode, is part of the process of the journey, of the path. But it doesn't mean it's the whole process. It doesn't mean that's where, you have to be the whole time, or even where you should necessarily be the whole time. Because let's face it, humans are social creatures, and, like, that is something that I think is inherently needed. Yeah, it's in something that's inherently needed as much as it's needed, in the sense that, likewise, you need your alone time. You need time with others. And so the whole point of what I wanted to say is that, like, if you are in a tough spot right now, if you're in a spot in life where you're not happy, just know that It's all a process, and things are gonna get better. Trust me. I don't know when. I don't know your circumstances. Maybe if we talked, I would. But at this point in at this point in time, at this moment in time, I just want you to know like things are gonna get better. And anything that's happening to you, anything bad, it's for a reason that's gonna help you. I believe that. Because when I look at my traumas, my problems, I realize that they were all things that were guiding me to help other people, to be more compassionate, to be compassionate to myself, to others, to the world. They spread that love, that light, that divine consciousness. Because really out here, it's a divine thing.